A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the final round of what has been a whistle-stop tour for Tanso Racing Group with the GR86 Grand Tour. So far this season, we've been to Barber Motorsports Park, Snetterton, Sebring, Silverstone, and this time last week, we were at America's National Park of Speed, Road America, as you join us at the fastest circuit in the United Kingdom, Thruxton, based in Hampshire, and first opened back in 1950. It's also the headquarters for the British Automobile Racing Club, one of the two biggest racing clubs in the United Kingdom, the BARC. This circuit has been in use since 1968 and measures just a shade under 2.4 miles, which is basically 3.8 kilometers, 12 turns in all. And you join Alex Goldschmidt, who this time will be joined by the very, very credible and accomplished Chris Murphy, but we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do for you at the moment. Firstly, which is the current scores on the doors, and it is coming down to the wire here as the Grand Tour champions in Pro and Pro-Am will be decided here tonight. Jim Marshall leads the way, just 18 points ahead of Daniel Wareham, and if he finishes ahead of Wareham in this one, it could be the case that Marshall will take the title with one race remaining. Wareham rounds out second ahead of Dan Forster with Joseph Lopez, Mr. Zoomies as we like to nickname him on the JP Broadcasting Network, rounds out your top four. Level on points with Lee Martin, Michael Dolan, Matt Benson, Neil Kennedy, Alex Cubulus and Josh Arnold round out your 10 that have scored points so far this season. Connor Pink is one win away from capturing the Pro-Am title ahead of Adrian Hadfield, who is 21 points behind him in the scoring. Casper Roost, who has had a third and 3 second place finishes, has been looking to capture an inaugural win this season. He's ahead of Simon Darch by 60 points, with Matt Perez, Ryan Clark, John Johnston, Simon McPhee, Robert Barber and Jason Brennan rounding out your top 10. We now head into the final 3 minutes of qualifying here at Thruxton, and things are looking very, very close indeed, with the top 10 overall covered by, well, make that the top 11 covered by just under a second. And let's welcome in Chris Murphy. Chris, good afternoon where you are at the moment over in the Pacific part of the United States, but welcome along to what is going to be a fantastic series finale for the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour.
Good evening to you as well, Alex. I'm happy to be here today. Our first race together with the Tanso group. These guys look like putting on one heck of a show. Really looking forward to actually my first time here at Thruxton as well. So should be an interesting race here tonight. Big speed for these guys, and we're just going to see who's brave enough to take these corners at the high rates and stay out in front of this one.
Yeah, so with regards to it, actually, it's a little bit closer than I thought. It is 381 to 375. Connor just saying that I have just had a look, Connor, with regards to the points. I know that you're one win away from getting into it, so it is going to be the case that I think I will have a look in the discussion point of the season. But it is going to come down to the wire. But thank you very much, Connor, for doing that. Jim has come in pretty much last minute because James, unfortunately, is unwell at the moment. So we wish James all the very best in getting well soon. But still, it is going to be that point whereby these drivers are going to, we had Silverstone a couple of weeks ago, and that was really, really competitive. And in a fast-flowing circuit in these production-based road cars here, Chris, it is all about keeping yourself on the tarmac more than anything.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be who can stay under control. You know, with these Toyotas, not a lot of torque on these cars, so it's all momentum. If you can keep up the momentum through these high speed corners, is going to be the key. I'm really looking forward to this for sure. And I'll see if I can find the points. I did not realize that. I'll find the correct points and see if we can get them together here for you.
Yeah, I'm just messaging Connor on Discord at the moment as we speak, but we are coming down to the final 30 seconds. Jim Marshall is looking pretty good for being on pole position for Pro. Simon McPhee, who has had a couple of races to, well, he wasn't with us at Sebring, but it's been a bit of a difficult turnaround for the man in the number 214. He is currently second in qualifying and leading Pro-Am at the moment. But all the way down to Dan Forster, we have got 11 drivers covered by less than a second. Here's Lee Martin, who is trying to find the pace around here at Thruxton. It is not easy because if you swing the car through a sweeping right or a sweeping left, as the checkered flag is out. So a quick reminder of the format for this. It is going to be a 20-minute first race, and then we're going to have a top 10 inverted, a top 12 inverted grid. And then for the feature, it will be whoever finishes 12th in race 1 starts on pole for the 25-minute feature, which will curtail the end of the season. So let's take you through the starting grid. Jim Marshall starts on pole position. He'll be joined by Simon McPhee on the front row. Joseph Lopez joined by Daniel Wareham. Starts on row 2. Connor Pink and Robert Barber round out row 3. Michael Dodd and Ryan Clark, row 4. Josh Arnold and Casper Roost round out your top 10 with Dan Forster and Jason Brennan completing the top 12. Lee Martin and John Johnston make it a 14-car grid as we are just waiting for a couple of drivers to ready up. That includes Joseph Lopez and Lee Martin as Robert Barber now jumps onto the grid. But let's head trackside here at Thruxton on the start-finish straights as when everyone is readied up and ready to go. They will have a couple of minutes to do so, but it is all ready to kick off here at the fastest circuit in the United Kingdom at Thruxton in Hampshire. As we are still waiting, Joseph Lopez, I hope he doesn't get caught short in this one because he needs to be where he starts, which will be right behind Jim Marshall in the number 366 for SRK Racing. So Connor starts all the way down in 5th position. That is second in the Pro-Am side of things. Joseph Lopez now readies up as the 5 red lights for the penultimate time here in the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour will see us going to green after a full formation lap. So I nearly jumped the gun there, Chris. We have had standing starts before, but we've gone to rolling starts. I think that really gives the drivers an opportunity to get the tyres and the brakes warmed up on these 2-litre 4-cylinder engine cars. But they are wonderful, wonderful vehicles for us to watch every single time.
Yeah, just full pace up. I'm not really used to that on here. Every time I jump into a different series here, I got to learn what are they starting from standing start? Are they rolling? What are they doing here? So I get a little confused. I'm glad you're here to keep me straight on this, Alex.
Well, I nearly jumped. I nearly caused myself to drop a clanger there, to be honest with you, Chris. But there's so much anticipation ahead of this series, and when you come down to it, last time out at Road America, it was Josh Arnold that won race 1 in at Road America. Then it was Daniel Wareham that picked up the victory. They were split by literally hundredths or even thousands of a second across the line. Connor Pink did the double at both races at Road America. He's actually on a win streak, a 4 straight win streak at the moment. Picked up both wins at Silverstone and then did exactly the same at Road America. More to the point, other winners in Pro this year. Jim Marshall, 3 wins. Daniel Wareham, 3 wins. Dan Forster, 1 win. Neil Kennedy, 1 win. And Josh Arnold, 2 wins. Connor Pink has 6 to his credit. Ryan Clark and Simon McPhee have also taken victories this season. Ryan Clark picked up the win at Sebring, race 2. Simon McPhee victorious at both races at Snetterton. Simon Darch in the Pro-Am class was the inaugural series winner this point back at Barber Motorsports Park. But we are now coming through Church, which will be taken at a big rate of speed. And this is one of the points on the circuit. If you've ever watched the British Touring Car Championship or the TOCA support package, you know that at Church, you have got to be fully committed. Keep the stamp lit and send it like you meant it. Drive it like you stole it. But if you go off track, you can end up hard into the barriers a bit like Petit Le Mans a little bit as well, Chris, in some kind of comparison, because it is that case that at fast corners, you've got to be on the limits and in control.
Yeah, you're carrying so much speed through Church and through Brooklyn. When you get down into Club right here, you've really got to get the car wound up. And we're going to come to the green.
Right, let's get ready to rumble here at Thruxton for the penultimate time as Jim Marshall, as we've gone green here for 20 minutes, he leads the field into Allard. Now it's the run up to Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. But big moment there for Ryan Clark in the Pro-Am category in the 219. He tumbles to the back of the field. But it is 5.7 seconds covering the top 13. But Jim Marshall got the breakaway he needed. Simon McPhee in second. Daniel Wareham rounds out your top three overall. McPhee leading the way in the Pro-Am category as we head into Noble. Then it's into the right-hander here at Goodwood. So a case of just, you're going to see, look, the way that the suspension is rebounding on the cars is quite significant. These are production-based race cars as Joseph Lopez goes off on the grass, and so does Michael Dolan for good measure, carrying way too much speed as they head through into Church. Dolan gets the slowdown penalty as now they will head through in towards Brooklands and then into Club. And here comes Joseph Lopez. He's behind, at the moment, Rob Barber, as Josh Arnold has made his way up 2 spots. Dolan runs a little bit deep into Club. You don't want to go too wide here. You don't want to cut the curbs as Dolan gets a second track limit penalty for slowdown within the opening lap. But Marshall has got a lead of over 0.7 of a second ahead of Pro-Am leader Simon McPhee. But Daniel Wareham from Simtech is quickly closing in on his rear bumper.
Exciting first lap there, Alex. Unfortunately for Joseph Lopez, made a mistake right there, cost him 3 spots, getting it gathered back up.
Oh no, Dan Forster's got off the circuit and has dropped to last, and that was at Seagrave. I did see that Casper Roos dropped a couple of positions down to P10, but yeah, I mean, like you say, it's really, really close between these drivers as Brennan and Roost go side by side. They've got John Johnston just behind them as well. But yeah, it's a pretty fast circuit. They're going to do the laps at around about 1:26, 1:27. So plenty of laps as Joseph Lopez closes in on Robert Barber to try and retake 5th position. Joseph currently P3 in the pro side of things. But this is a great little onboard as we go through into Brooklands coming out of Church.
Yeah, you can see how much they're going to have to get sewed up and get into Club right here. Lopez trying to make up the positions he lost. Actually has to get into the corner, lose a little bit of ground there to Barber as they come off the corner right there. So we'll see if he can make up anything as they come around the start-finish line here one more time to start lap number 3.
So Joseph Lopez has got a very hard-charging Canadian in the form of Josh Arnold from Simtech in the number 355. And Dan Forster has come into pit lane. Probably there might have been damage sustained on the number 300. And Dan from Snetterton hasn't really... he's factored in at the sharp end, but then there's been drama for him in the meantime. And he hasn't been in the top 3 all the way since he picked up the win at race 2 at Snetterton 300. As we ride on board with the SRK Racing Team overall championship leader Jim Marshall in the 366, and he is keeping Simon McPhee at bay, who has still got a very close Daniel Wareham closing in on him. Michael Dolan's lap time for lap 1 and 2 have not registered, basically because of those 2 slowdown penalties. John Johnston has just quickly served his slowdown as Wareham in the slipstream. Coming down into Brooklands, heading into Club corner. Wareham puts the car to the inside for Club. He's going to look to make the move, and up through he goes. McPhee knows that his battle is not with him. But still, when he's got 3.2 seconds, as Jim Marshall picks up a slowdown penalty coming out of Club corner. You carry too much speed through into the input part of Club. You're going to come out wide and then go straight off track. Josh Arnold, in the meantime, has got past Lopez and now Barber. And Barber and Arnold are playing GR86 musical chairs as Daniel Wareham wallops the curbs going into Campbell and puts the car up into the air, a bit like Kit in the 1980s in ski mode.
Fortunately for Marshall, he was able to slow up enough there, but look at Worm down on the inside. Marshall was able to slow up enough and not give up the lead to get rid of that slowdown flag. But Warren did a great job getting around McPhee coming out of Churchtown Brooklands and into club on that last lap. But look at McPhee all over the back of him. So top three now. You can throw a blanket over these top three as Marshall trying to get that gap back that he had just about a half a lap ago after that slowdown. But here comes Warren back up on his back bumpers. They head through club one more time. Or through church there.
So here we go through into Brooklands. Wareham gunning for the race lead. And this could be the moment that he really closes the gap to Marshall. He's got through, but to the outside, he goes into club, and Marshall retakes the race lead at the moment.
And Marshall did a good job giving him some room, but made him try to go around the long way around the outside. Marshall able to keep that inside line into club and stay out in front.
Yeah, so at the moment, with regards to the way that the scores are, it's 45 points for a win per class, in each class. And Wareham is trying to make sure that Jim Marshall has to sweat every bit of sodium out of his body to try and get this done. It's not going to be easy because at the moment, it currently stands. With regards to the way things are at the moment, Marshall has a 7-point advantage. 4:26 plays 4:19 at the sharp end. But at the moment, all that Jim Marshall has to do is keep ahead of Daniel Wareham. And as long as he does that, he's got the job done. But more to the point, out of church, Wareham again going towards the outside. Simon McPhee has the fastest lap of the race. We're doing 120, high 121s as Wareham now gets through. Now that is going to close the gap. So that is going to put us on 4:23 and 4:21. So at the minute, Daniel Wareham is really making sure that his time, well, I think in the words of the man who's going to be retiring from the WWE, John Cena, on December 13th at Saturday night's main event with his last ever match, it'd be like, well, the time is now, as his theme song normally goes. But more to the point, we're nearly at the halfway point of this race, Chris, and there are big old battles. Ryan Clark's had another moment off the track, and he's got a meatball flag. So damage for the number 239, and that is really going to hurt. We're going to have a replay here now. This is out of club, bang, straight into the barriers, and the front is an absolute mess.
The last time I drove at Thruxton, I did that exact same thing, so I know exactly how he feels.
Yeah, good to see Sir Draxlot back in the chat. Great race up top here, and I said yes, but we have got another 25 minutes of racing after this particular adventure around Thruxton Circuit in Hampshire. I had the opportunity to go here back in late 2020 to cover the British Touring Car Championship, and a few people in the paddock, like say Tom Ingram, Jake Hill, Josh Cook, Jade Edwards, who was also there racing in the good old FL5 Honda Civic, the FK7 Honda Civic. But Jim Marshall back on the counter-attack as they go through Allard. Now the run into Campbell, and McPhee is saying, well, hang on a second, boys. They do say that two's company. So at the moment, Sir Draxlot, well, at the minute, it is Jim Marshall in pro. Connor Pink, I think, will pretty much wrap things up. Because he was on 414 points. Casper Roost on 348 by the scores that I've got to my left-hand on my left-hand monitor. It is the case. Oh, right. There's been further problems. Jason Brennan is in the pit lane. Rob Barber in the pit lane. Ryan Clark has come back out onto the circuit in the pros. So it is Marshall that has the advantage over Wareham. But Wareham is making Marshall work for it. Look at this. It's a slipstream fest coming out of church once again as we head through into Brooklands. We are nearly at the halfway point of this race as we are on the course to complete lap number 7. Jim Marshall to the outside on the entry point into club. This could open the door, but Wareham's got to time it right, and he's got a bit of a lead. It's McPhee off the track, goes sideways, and there I think might be, yeah, Connor Pink has gotten through, and Simon McPhee I think instantly served a slowdown penalty. So at this point, Simon McPhee was leading the class. He came into club corner. Let's have a look at the replay. So Marshall goes wide to sweep into club. Wareham's on the optimum racing line to nigh on straight line the circuit. And there is the first bit of manoeuvring from the... And there's where the back end lets go. He catches the slide. And then all of a sudden, off onto the grass. McPhee, so lucky. He did a bit of Toyota Tokyo drift there out of the final parts of club, and Connor Pink says thank you very much.
Did a great job right there, keeping it off that tire barrier and then keeping it off that pit wall as he came back around. So unfortunately, that's going to cost him. He's going to drop all the way from 3rd back to 6th, but he's still got another race left to go. It would have been really easy to make a bigger mistake and destroy the car right there and not be out here still fighting for a position.
Yep, so we are past the halfway point, and as a result of that carambolage at club corner, Daniel Wareham now has a lead as we will complete lap number 8. But look at the speed that Jim Marshall just showed through at club corner. This title battle for the pros is not over, as through into Allard to the inside goes Jim Marshall on Daniel Wareham. But Wareham able to keep the nose ahead for the meantime. Into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave go the two men dueling over the Pro Class title here in the GR86 Grand Tour. And more to the point, it is going to be the case. It will come down to the final race of the night, as Dan Forster, who's made a bit of a recovery drive due to other people's mistakes, he's moved up to 9th. He's got a slowdown penalty for exceeding cutting the track a little bit, but look at Marshall. He's swarming all over the back bumper of Wareham as they now go through Goodwood. Now it's pedal to the metal out through into Village at over 120 miles an hour in these wonderful Japanese racing machines through into Church, and they both are on the limit of adhesion. The damper rebound very obvious on the back end of both of these cars, as here comes Marshall. He's pretty much bump drafting, going through. It's like NASCAR Xfinity all over again, only we've got GR86s on the circuit here at Thruxton. But once again, Marshall is doing what he can. He's trying to force Wareham to make an uncustomary mistake, and at the moment, Wareham is sucking up the pressure like the proverbial sponge that he is.
About 8 minutes left, 7.5 minutes left to go in this Marshall. I thought Wareham was going to have enough pace as close as he was to behind Marshall early in his early laps. I thought he might pull away here, but Marshall is not letting go of the back bumper of Wareham in that Toyota GR86, and this is going to come down to the wire here. This is going to be an exciting finish. I know there's a lot of action going on through the pack, but it's kind of hard to drift off this lead. We're going to take a quick look at McPhee trying to make his way back through this field after making that earlier mistake, as he's back there in 6th right now.
Yeah, also developments in the Pro-Am side of things. Casper Roos currently holding on to P8. John Johnston is running pretty well in 10th position. The man who is behind the scenes here at the Tanso Racing Group GR86 side of things. But more to the point, well, Dan Forster is really pushing. He's had a slight off track, but it's not enough for him to cop a slowdown penalty. The man from Simtech up to P9 overall, but more to the point, that puts him P6. But now there has been a change. Marshall has got through on Wareham. Finally, he's broken through the blockade as the 366 from SRK Racing Team, but he runs a little bit wide coming out of club at the chicane. So has Wareham. The gap is under half a second as we head on to lap number 11. These laps are going by very quickly. That's why it's a very fast circuit here at Thruxton. It is a case of, as I said, you've got to have this car set up the right way to be able to go over the curbing, you know, compensate for the damper rebound that you're going to suffer with through on these GR86s. But they come out of Church now through into Brooklands, and they are going to be at high speed as it's the short run up to club. And we ride on board with the rear view camera on Jim Marshall as he's, well, it's not through club, it's through Goodwood at the moment, so you can see he's taking a little bit of that advantage of a little bit of runoff area, a little bit of curbing on the exit of Goodwood through into Village, and this is where you just point it and hope. So you've got to basically make sure that your virtual underwear is not going to be soiled as a direct correlation. But look at the overspeed that Wareham is getting. Gap now a 10.5 into club corner to complete lap number 11. Well, folks, strap yourselves in. We've got 5 minutes left, which should give us around about another 4 laps after this. So we go on to lap 12 out of what could be a 14 or 15 lap race here at Thruxton. But now Marshall managing, when he gets out of club, he's able to get the traction down and pull away from Wareham. But Wareham, when he gets that slipstream, when he's about 0.4 of a second behind Marshall, is able to close up. And now they go through once again into Campbell, Cobb, Seagrave, all big old damper rebound there, going through Cobb over the curbs with all 4 wheels nigh on by Daniel Wareham. Not by Daniel Wareham, by Jim Marshall, my apologies there. But there you see the battle for 3rd overall as Josh Arnold has got himself up 5 spots. He started on 9th on the grid, and he's right with Pro-Am leader and the man that could seal the deal in the Pro-Am title division with 1 race remaining. Connor Pink holding on to P3. Let's not forget that Connor Pink at Road America Race 2. He is a very, very good peddler. But look at Joseph Lopez, looks to the inside on the run through into Church. He swings to the outside, does Mr. Zoomies. Can he get the overspeed through into Brooklands as Connor Pink stretches the advantage between himself and Josh Arnold to about 0.3, but that gap is rapidly closing as they exit Brooklands.
Yeah, Lopez still trying to make up that ground he lost early. Started in 3rd, fell back to 5th early, still trying to find his way through here. You know, I look back up at the front, look at Wareham. We've seen Wareham's pace off at Church. Comes out of Church, he has had the best pace heading down through Brooklands, and you could saw that last couple of laps that we watched. He made up some ground on Marshall there going into club. You know, these two have a 9-second gap back to 3rd, back to Connor Pink right now, and when they invert that top 10 for that 2nd race, I am really looking forward to watching these two try to charge through the pack.
Sorry, it's actually the top 12. My apologies there, Chris. It is Ryan Clark who will be on reverse grid top 12 pole position. But again, the battle for the race lead, and this is for the title. So if it stays as it is, Marshall has got to finish ahead of Wareham to get the job done. But he's got to be a couple of cars in front, so 2 places up. But if it comes to the fact that they end up at the front of the field and it stays like it is right now, Jim Marshall will have won it by next to nothing. As we head into Brooklands, Wareham's got the overspeed now. He will have the inside run going into club at the chicane as we are coming down to the last 2.25 minutes of this race. But Wareham able to power around the outside through into the approach into club. The 366 for SRK Racing Team, it looks like at this moment in time. There we go, straight out of club at the chicane. Marshall able to put the power down, but Wareham is using the overspeed. We've got this and 1 more lap to go. It'll be white flag next time by, but Wareham still, I think, even being at this point on the circuit going through into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, Chris, that Wareham's able to fling it through the corners with a bit more reckless purpose, so to speak.
Yeah, we've seen this the same thing last couple of laps. Wareham gets a great run through Church, runs Marshall down through Brooklands into club, but Marshall just gets through club so much better. But then here we are once again, Wareham working his way back to the back bumper of Marshall. Let's see if he can make any kind of a run here. We've got about a minute and a half left to go, a little bit less than that, so maybe one more lap left to go. We're going to get the white possibly as we cross the stripe.
Yeah, and this time going through into Church at high speed. This will be in top gear, over 125 miles an hour. And now this is where the slipstream starts to kick in, but Wareham this time on this lap was not that close, but it's at the latter part of coming out of Brooklands where you really see that Wareham, I think he might be on a slightly lower downforce setting than Marshall, who's kept it clean through the twisty stuff. As we go on to the white flag lap, there it is, 1 more tour, 2.356 miles and now what will be 11 corners. But look at the dive up the inside of Joseph Lopez by Simon McPhee, who is not that far behind. He's 1.9 seconds behind Connor Pink, but that is going to be a big old mountain to climb. Connor Pink still leading the way. He knows that his fight is not with Josh Arnold, but if he can have a P3 overall in the penultimate round of this GR86 Grand Tour with the Tanso Racing Group, it does go to show the prowess that Connor Pink has. But Jim Marshall is 8/8 of a second clear as we go into Goodwood for the final time here on race 1 out of 2 here at the 6th and final event of the GR86 Grand Tour. And here goes Josh Arnold. He tags the back of Connor Pink, who saves it through Goodwood. Oh my days, that was a code brown and a clean-up on aisle 3. Josh Arnold now loses 2 positions as Simon McPhee. That 1.67 seconds is now next to nothing. It's 2/10 as we now head into club for the final time here on the penultimate race of the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour. Jim Marshall still bests Daniel Wareham, but what is happening in terms of the Pro-Am category? It's going to come down to club, and it is going to be Connor Pink, who with 1 race to go, I think has done it. Connor Pink, I think, has just become the GR86 Grand Tour Pro-Am winner.
What a fantastic last couple of laps right there. Arnold got into the corner just a little bit deep, got into the back of Connor Pink, but did the right thing, got out of the throttle, let Pink try to get it straightened out. And, you know, I cover a lot of dirt races. I'm going to have to write a letter to Pink, say, hey, man, you want to come race some sprint cars? Because he looked pretty good getting that car sideways through the corner.
Yeah, so the checkered still waves. We've still got, Jim Marshall there. He's got 1 more race to go. We're still waiting for John Johnston to cross the line. And he's, there he is, the man himself from Team Tanso through club. And good result here for John. He'll pick up P4 in the Pro-Am side of things. And that, as they say, is race 1 done and dusted. But it is going to be the fact that we have 1 championship title decided. Connor Pink, by my estimation, has done more than enough to secure his place as the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Pro-Am champion for the Grand Tour. Let's have a look at the results from race 1 as the 5-minute warm-up gets underway. Jim Marshall for SRK Racing Team takes the victory in the pro class, but still Jim has one more race to go. He cannot breathe the sigh of relief quite yet, but he wins by just under 3/10 ahead of Daniel Wareham, who was flashing lights saying, congrats Jim, well done buddy, great job, because it was a titanic battle all of those 20 minutes when those 2 got away. Connor Pink finishes 13.5 seconds behind, but takes his 7th win of the series, and that is enough to capture the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour Pro-Am Championship title. So congrats to Connor. Simon McPhee, a 1.7 second disadvantage turned into what was just over 3 and a bit tenths by the end of race 1. He takes P2 in the Pro-Am side of things. Joseph Lopez rounds out the Pro podium. So well done to Mr. Zoomies. A bit of a shame for Josh Arnold. A little bit of a contact with Connor Pink through at Goodwood. Connor saves it. Josh decides, well, I'm going to back out of this one because I don't want that happening again. He finishes in P6. Casper Roost rounds out the podium for Pro-Am in 7th, ahead of Lee Martin, Dan Forster. John Johnston, I think with probably one of his best results, it is his best result this season, P4 and rounds out the top 10. Jason Brennan, Ryan Clark, Robert Barber and Michael Dolan. Michael unfortunately retiring with 9 laps remaining. But well, that definitely put the cat amongst the GR86 pigeons there, Chris, didn't it, that race?
That was just fantastic. I don't know if I could have enough, if I can catch my breath enough for that second race, but Marshall Wareham, and let's not write out McPhee for that. He's actually going to start in front of those 2 on this invert for this heat race number 2. And it's McPhee had the pace. As a matter of fact, was right there with him. There was a 3-car battle there for a long time until they made that mistake coming out of club. but he did a great job of saving the car. This is going to be just one heck of a final race here for the GR86 season.
Yeah, so don't forget, if you are watching along, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. There is more coming up actually on the JP Broadcasting Network because I think, if I remember correctly, we do have probably is at the time as we're broadcasting this. Very soon, I think we will have, IGP Fun Super Formula Lights, which will be starting in around about 10 minutes, and they'll be running round 12 at Imola. So if you want more racing, get some single-seaters, some Super Formula Lights, the younger sibling of the iconic Super Formula cars that run in Super Formula over in Japan, the successor to what was formerly known as Formula Nippon. So a lot of racing still to come in the in the days leading up to obviously the festive holidays. We've got Christmas and New Year. I can't believe, Chris, that 2025 has gone past really, really quickly, to be honest with you.
It is remarkable that we're just sniffing the door of 2026. You know, I'm a little bit older than you, and as they say, time flies when you get old, and it is remarkable just how fast this year has gone by. It's been so much fun joining you up here in the booth all these times with JP Broadcasting, and we'll be back tomorrow with Autobahn too. So looking forward to finish off the rest of the season with you and the rest of the year.
Yeah, and that will be the halfway point and also the second round of the Autobahn Endurance Cup as well, if memory serves me correctly. So there'll be some multi-class sports cars, so GTP, LMP2, GT3, and GT3 AM. So a lot still to come. And more to the point, a big thank you to everyone that has watched every single broadcast of the JP Broadcasting Network. I think I probably would speak for James on that front because, of course, he was taken to hospital earlier on this week, and he is currently he's at home resting. I know you're watching, JP, but from all of us here that work with you, we wish you all the very best in your recovery, mate. Just get well soon.
Yeah, it's been a long week for James, but good to see he's getting better. I see he reached out to me this morning, asked me to come in here, and I'm never going to turn down the opportunity to get to share the booth with you, Alex. So this has been another fun one. Looking forward to this next 30 minutes of racing going on here.
Yes, indeed. So warm-up has been completed, and it comes down to a moment in time where one person will be crowned champion. Pro-Am pretty much decided, but let's take you through the starting grid one more time here on the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour. It is going to be Ryan Clark that starts on pole position. He'll be alongside with Jason Brennan so the two Spectra racing cars will line up on the front row. John Johnston starts on P3, Dan Forster alongside him on the second row. Lee Martin and Casper Roost round out your third row of the grid. Josh Arnold and Joseph Lopez round out row 4. Row 5, Simon McPhee and Connor Pink complete your top 10. And Daniel Wareham and Jim Marshall will round out row 6. Robert Barber starts 13th, and he is due to be joined by Michael Dolan. But there you see also how things stand with regards to the way of the groupings for ever so briefly there. But
my fault.
What's the point? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But for those wondering that have joined us for the very first time, on the timing tower, pink is for Pro-Am and Pro is yellow. So the Porsche pace car leads the field around the 2.356 mile circuit here at Thruxton in Hampshire. All it means is that if it's going to come down to the wire, we are going to witness a titanic battle because it comes down to this moment. And because Jim Marshall picked up that victory in race 1, he is 7 points ahead. And that basically means that if Jim Marshall finishes 4th and Daniel Wareham wins in Pro, Wareham becomes champion. So Marshall knows that he's got to be P3 effectively or higher across the line If Dan Wareham wins the pro race, and it will be the final race of the season, that puts them level on victories. Well, no, it doesn't. Daniel Wareham has 4 to his credit, but scored a 0 at Snetterton race 2 back at the second round of the series. But this is what I love, Chris, where you have a battle that comes down to the last race of the season. And I'm not going to do any F1 spoilers for you fans out there that have not watched it, because you probably have seen it on social media already. But congratulations to the 2025 Formula One World Champion this year. That's all I'm saying.
That's always the tough thing when you're watching those when series are coming down to the end. I woke up this morning, especially being over here on the West Coast. The race was over with pretty much by the time I woke up, so trying to avoid the social media and everything else just to get up and watch the race this morning. But if you haven't watched it yet, I'm not going to spoil it either, even though I enjoy spoiling things. It's sit down for a couple hours and watch it. It was definitely worth the watch today.
Exactly. But it comes down to Jim Marshall versus Daniel Wareham for the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour here at Thruxton. The end of 6 competitive weeks of racing, 12 races in all, and it comes down to the final 25 minutes as the field is being guided through Brooklands by the iRacing Porsche safety car. And there is Ryan Clark and Jason Brennan, the 2 Spectra Racing teammates on the front row of the grid. Casper Roost, I think, pretty much has done enough to secure second in the Pro-Am side of things. So congratulations to the Dangerous Dane, as I'm going to Double D, as I'm going to nickname him now. But now, here we go. Pace car in pit lane. As now Ryan Clark puts the hammer down early, and look at the gap he's got as they cross the line. We go green for the final time in the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour. And Ryan Clark, Casper Roost gets a little bit of a touch and goes off circuit. And the Dangerous Dane gets, it was 3 wide there. Oh my goodness me, 4 wide. Trying to squeeze their way through into Campbell. That was never going to work, but look at Daniel Wareham. John Johnston's got a meatball flag. He's got damage to the vehicle, and Daniel Wareham has bolted. Jim Marshall currently sits down in 10th position. That's not going to be enough to secure the pro title. I think it looks like Wareham's ploy was to decide to do the following. Go hell for leather, and he's made up 6 places. He started P11. Jim Marshall now up into 9th and now knows he's got to chase Wareham down.
Great start from Wareham right there. Pretty crazy start, 4 wide right there, but he did what he had to do. Unfortunately, John Johnston's going to pay the worst for it, as he has got to come into the pits and take care of that meatball flag. But Wareham now up 7 spots, and we haven't even completed a lap. You can see him leading this group, heading down into club. McPhee also in this battle. Marshall right there as well. So Marshall now up 3 spots up to 9th. It is going to be a battle. We've got 25 minutes left, 24 minutes in this race. It is going to be exciting all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely the case. As now Marshall has got to get himself up past Joseph Lopez, through into Allard he goes, bumps over the curbs and makes the move stick on the run through into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. So John Johnston into the pit lane. Casper Roost, I think, has picked up damage, so he too has ended up in pit road. But in the meantime, Dan Forster now is leading the pro division. Dan at this moment has had 1 win to his credit. He will want to bookend the season on a high. But at the moment, Ryan Clark is making the back end of that GR86 wider than an 18-wheeler articulated lorry. And there you see from the rear view camera, on board with Ryan Clark, how close Dan Forster is as they come through out of Village into Church. And they are at high speed at the moment, so you've got to grip it and rip it, so to speak, through here, as Forster, with a big lick of speed, is going to get the outside line into Brooklands, which becomes the inside line into Club. But Clark is going to go with them. It's very much Senna and Mansell-S like in those days back in the early 90s in Formula One. But Clark eventually has to give up the ghost and lets Forster through. Wareham now second. Marshall in all of this is currently Simon McPhee's has got a slow down. Whoops. That's not what he wanted coming out of Club, but here goes up the inside. That is going to be Marshall now up into P7. That's P4 at this moment, which is 36 points. So at the moment, Daniel Wareham, that's going to be another 42 points at the minute. 36 for, so I'm trying to do some quick maths here at the moment with a pen. So that's 462. Oh my goodness me, this is going to be really, really, oh, don't tell me. 462 plays 461 at the minute. And it's in favour of Daniel Wareham at this moment. By my calculate, I think it might be, but I'm just going to double check my maths with the calculator. So sometimes, yeah, 462 for Marshall, and for Wareham it is 461. So at the minute, what Wareham needs to do is get through on Brennan and Clark and pass Forster. Now Forster is not in the championship fight. I think what he's doing now, the thing is that Wareham will have said to Forster, even if you're in the lead of this race, as Simon McPhee has just been given a black flag penalty and has just instantly served it. So Simon McPhee, that is not going to be a good time for him. That's probably going to be a 30 to 40 second stop and hold in the pit lane. So, and now Marshall has just got a slow down penalty. That is not what he needs. He needs to serve that quickly. He can do that through club or through coming out of Seagrave. So he slows down now, and there he goes. Quickly serves it. So get that out of the way. Dust himself off, pick himself back up, and get on with the job at hand, because Josh Arnold is his next victim. Sorry, I mean next rival up the road. But more to the point, we're a fifth of the way through this race. Forster is leading. Wareham is catching Brennan hand over fist. There's Rob Barber closing in on Lee Martin, who's got a very Mustang-esque style livery on that car, with the big old stripes going down the centre. But here is Daniel Wareham. He's 2.1 seconds off of his Simtech teammate.
Yeah, Brendan just kind of moved over there for it. Looked like, Wareham just easily got by Brendan there through club. Brendan looked like a problem. He's going to actually move over and look like he's going to let Arnold by as well.
Yeah, because he's got to serve a slowdown as well in the meantime.
Wareham with a slowdown now as well.
Well, now you can see how hard they are pushing. And more to the point, this is going to be a crucial run. Because Marshall, if he gets past Josh Arnold, that's going to be enough. That's going to put him P3. And that will put him on 4-6. That'll give him enough to take the series. And more to the point, it will be the case of how close do you want to make this title fight be? Well, it is pretty close at the moment, but Arnold, I think he's got to be, if Dan Wareham was Maverick, Arnold will have to be Iceman all of a sudden when you talk about a Top Gun reference. But at the moment, Marshall is quicker than Arnold. Arnold last time did a 23.4. Marshall was nearly a second quicker. So Marshall knows that if he gets past Arnold and holds position, but that won't be enough. He will want to beat Dan Wareham on the track in terms of proximity. And looking at the lap time from Arnold was about 2.5 tenths of a second slower on that last tour, as we now complete lap 5. And Marshall again just gets that run, uses that little bit more curbing coming through the Exeter Club, and he's charging at the rear of Josh Arnold. Arnold has got to make that car as wide as humanly possible as they go through out of Allard on the run up to Campbell.
And you can see Marshall with a much better run off a club. He's going to keep his momentum up. He's going to look to the inside now of Arnold. Arnold with a good defensor gives him just enough space. Marshall has to use a lot of that curb, and it kind of kills his momentum, not able to make up the spot. But he can see Wareham right up there in front of him. He just knows he's got to get clear Arnold if he's going to have any chance to run Wareham down.
So it is the case, and Jim Marshall just put in the fastest lap of the race. Oh, that's brave. That's brave going.
That's a lot of curb.
Running Goodwill. Yeah, that was incredible. Now he's going to bump draft him. This is going to be the run that he's going to need He's going to wait, I think, until after church, or is he going to go through at Village? Here we go, wheel to wheel, side by side. Could this be the deciding moment in the series where Jim Marshall gets through on Josh Arnold, and he noses ahead? Arnold runs a little bit wide, coming out of church through into Brooklands. And the run down to the club, it's wheel to wheel, it's side by side, it's neck and neck between these two pro drivers. And Marshall, will he get the inside run? No! Arnold cuts across the front from the outside, but Marshall once again gets the run through club. It's still mano a mano for third place in the pros.
Fantastic defense right there from Josh Arnold. They almost maybe saw a little bit of frustration there from Marshall running into club, ran right up on the back bumper, no contact, but Marshall definitely has the pace. But Arnold with a great defense running that outside through Brooklands and was able to clear Marshall getting into club.
Yeah, and again, still, they are at loggerheads. It is a bit of a stalemate between the pair. And this is allowing Wareham to get away into the distance. He's about 3 seconds up the road from Arnold. And Marshall has got to do something. He's got 16 minutes. He can take his time. But sometimes when you say to a driver, be patient, wait for your chance. Well, Jim Marshall's not waiting. He's making the chances happen, rather than wait for Josh Arnold to make a mistake.
Heading down through Village back into church one more time to see if Marshall can get a run off the corner. Arnold had a little bit of gap there, about 1 or 2 car lengths, but this Simtech team, Arnold doing everything he can to hold Marshall back here behind him to help his teammate Warren. Let's see if Marshall can get a run down. He's all over the back. He's got the inside line one more time. I think he's going to have him as they head into club once again. Arnold down. Forrest and Marshall down to the inside. Another great defense from Arnold. It's going to put Marshall off. Is that going to be another? It is going to be another slowdown.
Oh, and Connor Fink gets one to boot. The two SRK Racing teammates, one who's now the champion in Pro-Am, the other one who's gunning for the Pro title. They both will have to serve those slowdown penalties very, very quickly. There is a time window in which to do it, and if you don't, you will get a black flag, and if that does happen, then that will be game over for Jim Marshall with regards to the title itself. So he will do that, I would think, now coming out of Seagrave. He needs to do that now. He has served it.
Actually did a great job of just backing off just enough and not giving up the spot. That was pretty skillful, paying that slowdown.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's the best way to counter it. You know, if you can make it work and let your opponent get a little bit closer. But the thing is that at this moment in time, I would like to be in the shoes of Jim Marshall, but we're not even at the halfway point of this race, as there is Dan Forster leading the way. Ryan Clark has been absolutely flying around the circuit. So is Daniel Wareham. Now, more to the point, Wareham at this moment, if he goes ahead of Forster, it means it puts him. Well, I mean, just looking at it from this perspective, what Wareham needs, I mean, he's running P2 at the moment. If he goes to P1, it's still not going to be enough because Marshall now has started to pull away from Arnold. I think I sense a little bit of a feeling in my gut here, Chris. Just go with me on this one. Even though we're 11.5 minutes in, we're 1 minute away from the halfway point of this race, there is still every possibility now that Jim Marshall has got plenty of clear air. He can start pushing the car to the limit, but not beyond it. Like, do it at about 98%. Don't do it at 110 because you're going to fling the car off the track and end up in the barriers. But he can close that gap down to Wareham, which at one point was a big margin when Wareham made up 5 spots in the opening lap of the race. Marshall had only made up 2 because he got compromised with traffic in front of him.
Yeah, it's only 5. It's a 5-second gap now, and actually, Wareham actually ran the fastest lap of the race at a 1:22.27 his last lap. Marshall about a second behind that, so we'll see that Marshall now has some clean air. I was actually going to go back and take a look at that pass that Marshall had on Arnold as they headed down into club. One more, Arnold did a great job defending here. Gave Marshall just enough room, not a lot of room. Didn't pull over and let him go. But Marshall just was able to have enough pace here heading down Brooklands into club. We've seen so many passes here today, right here in this same spot. That was just a fantastic race between these two.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, shortcuts the chicane, serves a slowdown penalty coming out of Seagrave and keeps Arnold at bay. And now Josh Arnold has put in the fastest lap of the race. Ryan Clark has just done a 23.6. Jim Marshall, 22.3. Josh Arnold, 22.0. And now the new fastest lap of the race. And here comes Dan Wareham. He is right up close as we see what happened. So Wareham, you can see here, Clark does not want to have any part of this, but he's got to try and go all out for the victory. And that's the big thing. If he'd won in race one, I think it would be a slightly different turn in the tail, but up the inside he goes at the latest moment possible. Ryan Clark says, through you go. I don't want any part of this pro battle. And with the way things are going now, we have, we're at 13 minutes and 30, so 11 and a half minutes to go. The gap is coming down because Ryan Clark's last lap Jim Marshall's just lost out to Josh Arnold. Oh, what has happened here? So Arnold was in the slipstream, and there's
Marshall.
Marshall's got it! Marshall did not need to be so close to the back. Oh, could that have turned the tables? Could that have turned the tables? Because if he gets caught past by Lee Martin, and there is Lee Martin behind Connor Pink. Oh no, that's now hang on a second. That's Jim Marshall. That is probably more than likely, no, that's Jason Brennan and Lee Martin. And Lee Martin is a pro. So Jim Marshall at this moment, let's have a look. It was coming into club. So Arnold got the run through on the inside of Brooklands, which becomes the outside for club. He gets the overspeed and then shuts the door. But it was a clean move, and then bang. Oh, it was the curbing. The curbing that unsettled the back end, the right rear in the sky. And all of a sudden, Jim Marshall finds himself spinning around more times than Kylie Minogue back in her heyday. My goodness, that was a big old off track. And luckily enough, Marshall kept it out of the barriers, but he's got a battle on his hands because Lee Martin is right with him. And here we go. Dan Wareham now leads the race.
Yeah, let's take a look at the passer. Wareham got around Forrester here. One more time. Wareham around the outside right. Forrester just kind of going to move over and let him go at that pace. Once Wareham got that run off the corner right there, Forrester just going to say, okay, just let's go. Let's go to the front of this thing. Let's stay right here to see if we can run 1-2.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, Jason Brennan has got through on Lee Martin. So Jim Marshall, I think, has just dodged a big old bullet at that point. But even though, if he stays fourth, that is 36 points. And by my calculations, it comes down to the wire 460. So it's 36 points for fourth position. It's 33 for fifth. So Jim Marshall, I think, is a very lucky man. And at the moment, or the way things stand, Daniel Wareham, if he picks up the win, let's just have a look. 4.64 for Wareham, 4.65 for Marshall. I did say that it might have come down to the wire even closer if Wareham had won race one. But that was not the case. It was Jim Marshall that took the victory. And he's just got to keep it on the black stuff. Just hold station around this very fast circuit. And I think it might be the case. Because, well, John Johnston, unfortunately, has just picked up a slowdown penalty, which he's just served on the start-finish straight. So that has now meant that Connor Pinky's... Jim Marshall very lucky, because that was a big old moment there for Jason Brennan coming out of club corner. Rob Barber's in the barriers and has got a mechanical and is in the pit lane. So, oh, well, poor old Rob Barber there. It was a big old cloud of smoke, and I thought Jim Marshall might have been caught up in it, but I think he might have just gotten away with that one, might have kept himself out of this way of things. So let's have a look. Jim Marshall, he's closing in, and into club corner, so he's doing the same move as what he did with regards to Josh Arnold. So he goes into club corner. Okay, this time nice and neat and tidy from the 366. And then just behind, we should hopefully catch an eyeball on what happened a little bit further back. Well, Jason Brennan and all that lot. Yeah, so it was the fact that, yeah, poor old Robert Barber had to end up in the pit lane. As Connor Pink now going towards the inside. He wants to try and get into the top 3 overall again. And try and best Josh Arnold, who still holds on to the fastest lap of this race with a 1:22.011. And Arnold has the slowdown penalty, which means Connor Pink is going to sweep round the outside of Allard. Thank you very much. That's P3 overall. And Connor will have been the most winningest driver this series in both categories, because he is on course for his 8th win, his 6th in a row here at Thruxton. Did the double at Silverstone, did the double at Road America. But there is Jim Marshall closing in on John Johnston, who is now going to put a lap on very, very shortly. Joseph Lopez gets through on Jason Brennan, who now is P3 in this side of things. I'm sure that Jim will have been seen by John, and John graciously opens the door for Jim Marshall, who is now about the best part of 8.6 seconds behind Josh Arnold, who is now in P4 overall, but P3 more to the point. So this is where things are going to get very, very close. Daniel Wareham has done everything. It's a bit like Felipe Massa in 2008 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. He did everything. He went for broke in this final race of the season. He is leading the way, but it is a case that he will know where Jim Marshall is in comparison to him, and it might be tight to the wire. But it is going to be the case of, I think that Wareham will have done enough to be just on, you know, if it had gone to count back on race victories, if they were level on points coming into this final race, it would have gone the way of Wareham. But we are coming down to the last 5 minutes of the 2025 Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour. And there is the man in 6th position overall, 4th in the Pro Division. Jim Marshall is just making sure that he gets the car over the start-finish straight when he sees the checkered flag with the car in one piece. But he was very, very lucky on that spin out at Club earlier on in the race, Chris.
Yeah, and he's not letting up. He's still pushing. Matter of fact, last lap, Jim Marshall with the fastest lap in the race at a 1:21.98. So he is pushing for everything. He's got right there in front of him is Ryan Clark. Ryan was battling for the lead here early on in this race, but is now falling back to 5th. But it's Warren, as you said, started back in 11th. He's still got Forrester all over the back of him here, but I don't think Forrester's going to contend for the lead. I think he's going to sit back and let Warren have it. But Warren up 10 spots up to lead right now with about less than 5 minutes left to go. This is as exciting as the first race was, but I don't think Forrester is going to give Warren a challenge.
No, I think the thing is that Forster and Wareham and Arnold would have been discussing strategy pre-race evening, to be honest with you. And it's I think it's more to the point that, you know, they said, look, if I'm out front, let me, you know, just stick with me, but don't try and challenge me. That is the biggest thing that you don't want to have happen with regards to something like that. And that's why these drivers, at the peak of their powers, can also show that it is going to be the case that these drivers are at very good understanding, as Josh Arnold now closes in on Connor Pink, who wants that P3 overall back, does the Canadian, in the 355 from Simtech. And they do say that Simtech are very, very strong. They do have some very, very strong drivers, and it is always the strength by numbers game, as Josh Arnold flashes the lights to Connor Pink saying, look, buddy, just don't do anything silly. But Connor gives Josh enough racing room through into Club. Josh gets through for P3 as we are down to the final 3 3/4 minutes, so we'll probably get 3 laps including this one. We're on to lap 17 here at Thruxton. The timer counts down, and oh well, Connor has just got a slowdown penalty for his troubles, maybe a little bit exit wide coming out of Club. But Jim Marshall is at this moment in time possibly champion elect at this point, so the way things stand, it will be the case that he will have crunched the numbers and probably would have thought in the warm-up, maybe thought, well, if I finish fourth, then and Dan Wareham wins the race, then I've got a pretty good shot of winning it, but by next to nothing. But Wareham, he's done everything. He's the most successful driver in the pro class. This will be win number 5 because Forster has just decided, you know what, I'm going to let him go. I don't need to risk it. I'm going to get a nice second place finish to round off my season. But it hasn't been the best for Forster. It will be his 3rd overall podium of the series, a 3rd at Snetterton race 1. Picks up the W for race 2. But more to the point, it is going to be, we've got just under, this is going to be, next time around, I think we will get, yes, white flag lap next time. We are on to lap 18 out of 19, and still a little bit, there was a lot of drama in the early part of this race, Chris, and it was the drama that Daniel Wareham just got the drop on everybody, went, right, okay, hold my beer, I'm coming through, and makes up 5 spots at the opening, or made up 6 spots at the opening lap of the race, and that's a pretty difficult thing to do around a circuit such as this.
Yeah, especially with these all these even cars right now. Warm did what he had to do on that first lap. He, like you said, hold my beer. He was coming to the front. He knew what he had to do. Charged through the field there, made his way to the point, and now we're looking at Warm, Forster, and Arnold with a Simtech podium right now. But Marshall still trying to make up some ground. He's still running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack. But after the excitement we had in that first race, this one was kind of, we had that big excitement there on the first lap, but it's kind of settled out for about the last 20 minutes or so. But it's going to be Warm looking to take the win here. Forster going to be second, but the battle for the championship here, 1 lap left to go. It's up to Marshall. Just got to finish one more lap.
Hang on a second. Now, was that the white flag lap? Yes, it was, because Daniel Wareham took the timing beam right at the 1 second mark to go. So he just wants to push right up until the final checkered flag of the series here on the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour, where we visited Barber Motorsports Park, Snetterton, Sebring, Silverstone, and last time out on the shores of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, Road America at America's National Park of Speed. But then to close off the series here at the fastest circuit in the United Kingdom, Thruxton in Hampshire. More to the point, it is going to be the case that Daniel Wareham is coming through out of Goodwood on the 19th and final tour. Not just the final lap of the race, but the final lap of the series. This man, the 373 from the UK for Simtech, has done everything right in this final race. He's left nothing to chance. He's stormed his way through from 11th on the starting grid after our reverse top 12 from race 1, which saw Ryan Clark start on pole position. Wareham is going to lead a 1-2-3 lockout for the overall podium for Simtech. Through the final chicane comes Daniel Wareham. He picks up his 5th win of the series. 2nd goes to Dan Forster. 3rd goes to Josh Arnold. It's a Simtech lockout on the podium. Connor Pink takes his 8th win of the series, but I think Jim Marshall might have just done it by 1 single point. I will await for confirmation for that. Hopefully John Johnson might be able to get on the calculator, the abacus after this race. But more to the point, Jim Marshall takes P5, overall P4 in the pro, takes the fastest lap of the race, and I think he might have just done it, unless if the scores, well, Daniel Wareham is celebrating, but I'm not too sure if I did have a look in the discussion with regards to the points. But Ryan Clark, well, Adrian Hadfield unfortunately was unable to make tonight. Ryan Clark says, I've just finished a 24-hour race at Spa this morning. Crazy individual to do that, but
no doubt.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that at the end of the day, let's have a look before we do our final post-race interview show of the series for the Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour. Everyone has crossed the line. Let's have a look at the results. Daniel Wareham picks up his what will be his 5th win of the series, and that means that effectively I think it might be 1 point between him and also Jim Marshall, who picks up P5 overall, but more importantly P4, which I think might have just given him the title by a point. Dan Forster and Josh Arnold ran out an overall top 3 for Simtech, so they lock out the top 3 positions. Connor Pink in 4th. Jim Marshall, I think, might have just done enough, but he was very, very lucky. Ends up P5 overall. Ryan Clark 6th, ahead of Joseph Lopez, Lee Martin, and Jason Brennan from Spectra Racing. Round out the Spectra Racing 2-3 on the podium in the Pro-Am, so congratulations to them. Casper Roost. So you think Wareham has it by 3 points. Okay. I'm not 100% sure because I did see in an announcement of the points, but we'll wait. I mean, I don't want to confirm it, but I think it might be close. So if I haven't been given the wrong, if I've clicked on the wrong information, my apologies there. But you see that Robert Barber, Simon McPhee, John Johnston and Michael Dolan round out your finishers on that one. You know what I need? I am waiting for Sir Draxlot. I'm waiting for the confirmation if that is the case. But we're now going to go to our final post-race interview show of the series. And first of all, I'm going to bring in our newly crowned 2025 Tanso Racing Group GR86 Tour Pro-Am champion, Connor Pink. You have done it. You're the man. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Oh,
now,
God, was...
I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you have the points that you can send me via a DM to do my calculations, Reference Pro? Because
I can just quickly send you now, Pro.
Fantastic. Thank you. Because I want to do those whilst we're talking. But, mate, I can't believe it. 8 wins, and you pick up the title with 1 race remaining. How's about them apples?
Yeah, it was. That was a tough last race. I mean, I know I had the points lead into it. It was kind of mine to throw away, to be honest. I was a little bit worried about Thruxton with the bump drafting and the diving and all sorts that this sort of fast draft track brings into play. But yeah, it's been an amazing season. I think that's 7 wins or something throughout the season. It's been mental. I've had ups, downs, lefts and rights. But yeah, it's been incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely understand on that front. I mean, you did an absolutely mega job on that. I mean, 8 wins out of 8. Oh well, thank you, Connor. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to work this all out because, yeah, I think you might. I thought my calculations were correct. They might be wrong. But I think you've done the maths for me as well, haven't you? Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So,
no problem.
it was so
it's
close.
been.
I knew. Okay. Oh, well, I was right in saying it was going to come down to 1 point, but nevertheless, SRK Racing team now have a championship title. How are you feeling, mate? I mean, because obviously,
it's been hard. I really don't have a lot of time to practice. I literally today finished moving into my new house at 5:30 this afternoon. And
with
so
good lady and baby Axel in tow.
Yeah. So it's been an absolute nightmare this weekend. So yeah, it's just been. I don't have a lot of time to practice, but it's been nice to see that I can kind of keep up with the pros. That's been really nice, and jockey it with the pros. Obviously, being in Pro-Am, I don't think they really expect me to put up much of a fight, and then all of a sudden I start getting in the way, and I don't think they like it too much. So yeah, it's been great. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, I mean, I don't know about me for next season, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been a mental 6 weeks. It's been really good fun. So yeah, I'm just happy to take home the title, and it's been mega. I wasn't expecting it when I came in.
Well, you had a big enough points handle over Casper anyway. I mean, you were more than 50 points ahead, so even if you finished behind him, I think you would have picked it up anyway. But, mate,
Yeah,
chapeau, well done, congrats. And I know that you're going to be doing a lot of the hard graft, obviously, with little baby Axel watching long as Daddy puts up all the decorations and everything. Because, I mean, I know what it's like moving into a house just before Christmas. It's not easy, but well done,
no,
buddy. Congrats on the Pro-Am
cheers, mate.
title for SRK Racing. Please give your shout outs before we let you go.
Yeah, thank you so much to you guys. I mean, you always put on such a brilliant broadcast. It's always great talking to you afterwards, and shout out to the missus and the little man and everybody else watching. It's been a mental 6 weeks, but yeah, done it, dusted.
Or as Big Jim would like to say, gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
There you
definitely. Mate. Yeah, thank you
Well,
so much.
congratulations, Connor Pink, our 2025 Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour champion. Have a great Christmas and a great New Year, buddy.
And you, mate, take it easy.
Right. I now have the pleasure of bringing in and introducing our 2025 Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour Pro Champion, who has just won, and I've had the scores confirmed to me by Connor. Let's bring in Simtex Daniel Wareham. Daniel, it came down to the wire. You are the Pro Grand Tour champion by 1 point. You did it.
Oh, I actually did it.
Yeah, I just had the scores confirmed by Connor because you.
Oh,
Yeah,
bless him.
yeah, Connor's an absolute brilliant guy. But mate, I have to say that first race, you flashed the lights as a show of respect to Jim, saying good job, because it was
Yeah, man.
we couldn't tell who was going to win that one. Really,
I was kind of trying to set him up for the last lap, but I messed up on the chicane before the last lap. I was wanting to get a bit more time on him, but I didn't get it. I just messed it up, and which I weren't get any more closer to him after that. So I kind of failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, good racing. He's a quick guy around here. Quick. Very quick.
He did a sub 22 on the last on one of the laps of the race as well, which was even more surprising. I thought, oh, someone going to break underneath the 22s, and he went and did it because he was, after that spin at club, because the way that it would have worked is that if he was P3, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be talking to him right now.
That right? Okay.
He would have won it by 3 points because
he would have done. Yeah.
You guys were 6 apart, and it brought the gap down. I think it.
And I'm a race down as well.
Yeah, you're a race down as well because you got a 0.
I snapped the steering wheel.
Yes, indeed, I remember that.
Yeah,
because I was
just came off clearly in my hands. I'm like, oh,
yeah, yeah. So,
seriously, it was like some sort of comic show, like we just stood there with the steering wheel in my hand. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, actually, you right? Okay, there has been well, it is a draw, but on count back, you have 5 victories, so you are still champion.
Oh, okay.
It 4-6-2, 4-6-2. It was a dead heat between you and Jim, and you got it on countbacks because of 5 race wins, and he's had 3. But Jim had the thing was, we know that consistency wins you a championship, but hang on a second. Yeah, there you go. On your screen, Sir Drexelot, 4-6-2, 4-6-2. And that effectively means that I think because of the fact it goes to count back on a tie, doesn't it? That's how I understand it.
I don't know.
You're level on points, so it goes to.
You're level on points, but I got more wins. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what, Dan? Let's bring in Jim, shall we, as well? Because I want to chat with you both at the same time. Along with Dan Wareham, I've now got Jim Marshall. Jim, good evening.
Hello, hello,
hello. Can you believe this? We've just put the confirmation on screen. Okay, you and Dan are tied on 4-6-2 apiece.
But I think if you look at the sheet there, my name is slightly higher, so I'm going to take the cheeky win there.
I would have thought it would have gone to Countback, but obviously, I mean, I wanted to get you guys in both at the same time because you're both just.
Oh, Dan's in here, damn it!
Dan's
yeah, I'm in here, man.
Yeah.
You can say what you wanted about anyway.
I
You say what you
just-
wanted.
I wanted to bring you both in because I'm just having confirmation. It was a draw in pro. Yeah. So I'm now going to message the powers that be. So let's hear from. I want to hear from John. So who is the pro champion? But guys, I have to say. He's typing away. So. Guys, I have to say the quality of racing that you both have provided over the course of this series has been nothing but exemplary.
Oh, it's
Thank
been
you.
so much fun.
Yeah, I try my best.
I mean, it's not just us. I think it's everyone in the league. To be fair, has been
Yeah.
just phenomenal.
There was a few comments in the YouTube chat a few weeks ago saying that all I do is ram people off the road, and that's not intentional.
No.
No.
I mean the thing was James actually said at the end of the
He
day.
did shout. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did make a discussion about it.
He certainly did.
It says, well, it looks like you are joint champions then, guys.
Nice,
Whoop,
congrats,
whoop.
Daniel.
So,
Yeah, congratulations, mate.
I am waiting for. So it's a tie then. I'm going to basically say to John, as I've got him on Discord Messenger at the moment. But I mean, guys, I mean, for it to end up even Stevens at the end of it, you know, you both had your shares of podiums, both had your shares of victories
Yeah, there's
as
laughs
well.
and tears.
And
Yeah,
miseries.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think at the end of the day, this is why something like the GR86 is just such a great car to race here on the iRacing service, isn't it?
It is a fun car for me. I mean, I'm an old man, so this is about all I can handle, to be fair. So it's a good car for me. I love it. It's
I mean-
close racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cars that like are easy to drive but hard to get the most out of. I think Daniel might agree on that one.
Yeah. Certainly is.
Well, gentlemen, let me say congratulations to you both. Our joint Tanso Racing Group GR86 Grand Tour champions, Jim Marshall, Dan Wareham. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you both in the series as always, and we look forward to the battles continuing when the next full season gets underway. But before I let you both go, Jim, let's start with you. Do you want to do your shout outs for tonight?
Yep, shout out to friends, family. I mean, everyone in the league. It's been so much fun. Thank you to John as well, and thank you to you guys as well. Great broadcasting.
Fantastic. Dan,
There you
from
go. Same again. Friends,
Can't say
family.
same again. Throw a couple
Oh
more in
yes,
there.
I can, and I'm going to say a big thank you to my missus for letting me do all this, and she's on the mend as well, so she needs a big thanks. She's back at work on Monday, so that's good after the incident that she had 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
got a big thanks to her.
I'm glad to hear that she's feeling a lot better and she's getting back to some semblance of normality, Dan. That's the main thing. So
Yeah, thanks guys.
Congratulations, well done tonight, and great racing as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. See you in the next one, Jim.
Yep, see you in the next one.
Nice one.
So there you go. You heard it there first. See you in the next one. That was the exchange between Dan Wareham and Jim Marshall. I am watching the discussion at the moment by for the server here at the moment, Chris. So I think it looked like basically it said that it's tied, but I think in some respects they are both just as equally deserving of the pro title. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I think it's very fitting. It was nice to have them both up here in the booth together. Just shows the camaraderie with those two. They've been going hard at it back and forth all year long, and they end up tied. And didn't really, in some groups you'd have a little animosity, but they seem to both just be happy for each other as much as they were for themselves.
Exactly. Well, I think we've got time for maybe one more interview. We've spoken a lot to Casper at the moment, but I want to bring in Mr. Zoomies, Joseph Lopez, who I haven't spoken to in a very, very long time. Joseph, welcome back in the booth. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm pretty good.
Well, looking as things stand, you have, I think, gotten 5th in the Pro Division. So congratulations on
Hey, I'll take it.
372 points. So well done, buddy. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy Grand Tour for you, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was just hoping I could hang with all the pros up there. So I'm glad I finally got a podium.
Yeah,
But
I was going to say because it's been a long time coming, isn't it? And great to see that your Dachshunds are still on the livery as always, as we see whenever you race in a GT3 or a GR86.
yep, love them.
So
Love the dogs.
what was the strategy for today then? Because obviously you said that you wanted to get yourself a podium, which you very much did, and it just comes to show that in race 1 it was a bit frantic, to be honest with you, wasn't it, on those opening couple of laps?
Yeah, the biggest thing I wanted to do is not get a slowdown on that final chicane. So fortunately, I didn't. In either race, didn't get a slowdown, but that was my biggest fear, was just hitting that chicane right.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, and we did see quite a few people, but what a way to cap off 5th in the series. Are you going to be coming back for more Tanso GR86 action? We do see you normally on their GT3 side of things. Are we going to see you back at a GR86 in the near future?
Yeah, I'm going to do the next GR86 series. I'm not going to do the GT3 next time. I'm going to focus more on this one. I gotta practice more on the GT3s. I still haven't figured those out.
Well, you still keep on never giving up anyway, and that's what we appreciate about you, Joseph. But well done today. Congrats on securing 5th in the pro standings against some stiff competition. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, just my wife. We just got a new dog, so my dog Biscuit, and that's about it.
So how many dogs is that now in the family?
Well, we had the two that are on my car, but they passed away within the last couple years. So now we have a new one.
So you got Biscuit.
Yeah, she's a golden retriever. Yep.
So maybe you can stick her on the roof or something.
Yeah, I got to figure out what to do.
Well, Joseph, it's always a pleasure chatting to you. Thanks so much for your time, and well done for securing your first podium of the series and also picking up P5 in the Pro Series. All
right, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
And with that being said, it's time to close off the show. Chris, great to have you back in the booth again. Great to see some great racing here in the GR86 division for the Tanso Racing Group Grand Tour. Final thoughts before we close out.
I agree 100% there, Alex. You said it for me. It's just great to be back here with you. This was a lot of fun. We did one Tanso race early in the season, and I just forgot how much fun it was. It's been so long, but we come back tomorrow night with the Autobahn 90 Minutes at Road America. That is also going to be a fun one. If you want to see some great racing one more time, join with us tomorrow night, because that Autobahn group puts on one hell of a show. Yeah, so we've got the round 6 of the 2025-2026 Autobahn Sports Car Challenge, which is now in its 15th season and will be round 2 of the Autobahn Endurance Cup. Also, if you do want to catch a bit more racing action live right now on the JP Broadcasting Network, you can catch round 12 of IGP Fun Super Formula Lights at Imola. A big thank you to everyone that has watched along. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share and subscribe in the YouTube. And more to the point, as I always like to say, race hard, race fair. And like here at Thruxton, if in doubt, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Good night. Thank you for tuning in.